Hello everyone, welcome to the Old Man and the Read. My name is Jerry. Today I'm going to discuss the books of Claudio Magris. Claudio Magris is one of those writers I just discovered here a couple of years ago, and I'm just fascinated with his writing. He's from northern Italy, and he's an essayist and a novelist, but he writes just very exceptionally poetic prose, but very long, convoluted sentences, and can be a bit of a challenge. He uses lots of obscure references to things and people, but just a fascinating writer. His novels, he uses some very unusual and different type stories, but I just enjoy reading his books very much. I haven't read a lot by him. I haven't been able to find a lot that have been translated into English, but I will show you what I have. The first is a book he published in 1986, Danu, and this is basically a book-length essay about the Danube River from its source to the Black Sea. It's not about the river itself, but about the countries it flows through, and it tells about their histories and the people who live there. He writes, very descriptive prose, and he can be a challenge, but just absolutely beautifully written prose. And I thought I would start out by giving a little sample of a paragraph from the book. It begins, "In Passau, there is a prevalence for rotundancies, of curves, of spheres. It is a cosmos as closed and finite as a ball, well protected and covered by a bishop's hat. Its beauty is that of a matron, the warm, conciliating seductiveness of the finite, but the curve of the dome fades into the maternal curve of the riverbank, passes into that of the ripples slipping away and dissolving. The elusiveness and lightness of the water give an airy levity to the palaces and the churches, which appear far off and mysterious, as unreal as a castle in the evening air." Just beautifully written prose, very long, convoluted sentences, but just a pleasure to read. The next book I have was published in 1991, A Different Sea, and this is a novel that's about a man named Enrico, and it's his life story from early age to his death. But Enrico was an intellectual and a Greek scholar who in 1909 sailed to Patagonia, where he lived for about 12 years. While there, he led a very solitary life and lived off the land and read ancient Greek texts. He then returned to his home in Garcia in 1922, and when he returned, he discovered many changes that had occurred, and the rest of the story just follows his life through the many years after, and include the wars and the changing border lines that occurred until his death in 1959. In 1997, he published Microcosms, This is similar to the Danube, the book on the Danube, but this focuses more on the Trieste region of northern Italy, where he's from. And it also includes some of the regional areas like Croatia. But he describes the various regions and tells a little bit about their history and about the people who live there. It's another one with some very challenging descriptive prose, but just sensational. And he uses lots of obscure references to places and people. But still, I enjoy that so much. In 2003, he published Journeying, and this is a book of short essays based on his travels, mostly focusing on Germany and Eastern European countries. They're mostly about just minor events and tales of the places that he's visited. And there's lots of references to the authors and books from those regions. The favorite essay I have from this, however, is titled Father and Son, and it's just a beautifully written essay about an elderly man and his son with Down syndrome at an art gallery. In 2006, he published Blindly. This is a novel, and it's written as just an elaborate puzzle written in snippets of streams of consciousness by a man who seems to be talking to his psychiatrist. It appears that he is a man named Sipico, who had been sent to Dachau and had been tortured there, and when he was released, he went to Yugoslavia, and this was during the period when Tito was breaking from Stalin, and he ended up being imprisoned again and put in a concentration camp called Goli Stok. However, it was hard to determine exactly who he is, because he often in the book referred to himself as alternate people, and primarily the one he claimed to be was Jorgen Jorgensen, a Danish man who had been put into forced labor in Australia in the 1800s. It's another very challenging book to read, but it was actually just, I enjoyed it so much. The next book was published in 2015, another novel, Blameless, and this is based around a museum that stores weapons of war. It was created by a man who was obsessed with them. He dies in a fire at the museum, and the museum is then taken over by the curator, a woman named Louisa, who she's the daughter of a Jewish woman and a black man. But the book goes into just numerous asides, mostly about atrocities and throughout history, but mostly based on war, and a lot of them are based on the Nazis also. They also go into the persecution of Jews and the enslavement of black people. And the last book I have by Magris is Snapshots, and this was published in 2016. And these are very short essays on observations of everyday events and occurrences. all were just really excellent, but a couple of my favorites were, one of them is at the Castelli Gallery, and this is about a gallery protesting a court order by placing black cloth over all of the artwork. Then a woman comes in to the gallery, begins studying and taking notes of the artwork, thinking that that was the artwork itself. Just a humorous little tale. Another essay that I thought was quite good was Forget Colors. And this is about the fact that colors do not actually exist. It's just different wavelengths of light that the brain interprets as color. But those are the books I've read by Claudio Magris. It's just the exceptional writing that I really enjoy, and just really interesting and unusual stories that he tells. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on another video. Thanks.